My name's Rick Walcombe. I've written a book about the Snowy Mountains entitled Skiing Off the Roof. It focuses on the Kosciuszko Chalet at a place called Charlotte Pass. I ended up at Charlotte Pass almost by accident in 1975. I'd just finished university and wanted to go for a short skiing holiday with a couple of mates. I stayed on and stayed on and stayed on. I love the place. During that time, I started to realise that the old Kosciuszko Chalet really reeked with history. I kept hearing all these yarns about these famous people and the exploits and the disasters, the catastrophes, the adventures, and all these really interesting people. I was sitting in one of the ski lodges one summer and discovered that the original chalet was actually turning 50 years old. So I took it upon myself to organise a big Back to Charlotte Pass reunion for all the old timers that were still around. Sent out invitations, most replied. So we had this big birthday bash and I ended up meeting the most amazing people. I decided to start recording the history. It took quite a long time, but eventually the book was published and thankfully it's gone exceptionally well. It covers the complete history of the Snowy Mountains, focusing on New South Wales. We just had the Olympics, which reminds me of where did all this skiing start? Well, it was about 150 years ago when the first Aussies started to strap on their old wooden planks and leather bindings, and eventually Australian skiers, especially the ones who had the wherewithal, would go off to Europe and learn to ski the steeper mountains, and they'd come back raving about what could be done in the Snowy Mountains, and they started agitating for more accommodation as the demand for skiing improved. And then eventually we started sending the odd Olympian over to Europe or North America, and over time our skiers have got better and better and better. It all had to start somewhere, and Charlotte Pass was a place where many of the original races were first held, namely in the 30s up until the Second World War, then through the 50s until skiers started to tweak to the bigger slopes at Thredbo, bigger slopes at Perisher, and people started to drift away from our gorgeous little Charlotte Pass. But it's still going strong. It's still an island in the snow. You can only access it via Perisher Valley. For those who've skied there, who are lodge members there, to them it's an extremely precious place. And in my book, I've tried to record as much as I can about that wonderful history, and that's what I've done in this book.